In the name of Allah, hello everybody, welcome to our class today. I hope you are doing great as usual. As I said you yesterday, students, today we will have a discuss about the other types of expansion cards that we didn't have enough time for explaining them yesterday. Okay, the next type of expansion cards is serial and parallel cards. Okay, serial and parallel expansion cards, as you are seeing in the figure, are used to provide additional connection ports to a computer, specifically to provide either parallel or serial ports connections. A parallel port is only able to transmit data on one way to a secondary devices, commonly a printer or similar using a dual data transmission system. This type of one-way transmission was also used for older external storage devices. Serial ports are able to process data in two-way direction and are often slightly slower than parallel ports due to the more accurate transmission of data they send. But serial ports and parallel ports have been mostly supported by the faster and more efficient USB port in the modern computers. Let's go ahead, students. What's the next? Next is the USB card. A USB expansion card, as is shown in the figure, is used to provide additional connection port to a computer by connecting the cards to the motherboard. USB is shorted from the Universal Serial Bus and is the most common type of port found in the modern computers. Peripherals such as printer, keyboard, removable flash driver, and mouse can be attached to the computer. Today, about all of peripheral devices can be connected to computer with a USB card. USB cards are necessary if a computer does not already have this capability or to add additional ports for more use of external devices at once. USB connections are faster at transmission data and quickly became a general industry standard for cross-platform communication. Okay, students, let's go ahead. The next one is firewall card. A firewall card, as you are seeing in the figure, is used to provide computer with an IEE 1994 interface connection, also known as a firewall. The term was coined by Apple in the early 1990s, and the ports themselves have been included on most Apple computers since the year 2000. Recently, Apple has begun replacing this port with the Thunderbolt interface on all modern Mac computers. The port itself is very similar to a USB connection, although USB is much more popular across a range of cross-platform devices, and the two are interchangeable. Okay, students, let's go ahead. The next one is a storage card. What do you think about this? Okay, a storage card, as you are seeing in the figure, often also called a flash memory card or simply a memory card that is connected to a computer in order to provide users with extra space to store their data. This can include data such as music, picture, text, or video, and is transferable to other devices such as digital camera and mobile phone. These cards vary in both physical size and data capacity, and are constantly being developed and upgraded. Some of the most common on the market today include the secure digital SD card, the mini micro SD card, and the multimedia card or MMC. Data secured on the storage card is very stable and not in the much danger of the being lost or damaged outside of any actual physical damage to the card itself. Cards are much smaller physically than they were even as recently as 10 years ago, and some such as the flashcards have been made almost obsolete by the introduction of more stable non-volatile memory devices. Storage cards also have an advantage over hard disk drives as they are very allow immediate access when booted up and do not require cooling. There is a huge market mm, among users for small, lightweight, and low power storage devices with increasingly a large amount of data storing capacity. Okay, students, let's go ahead. The next one is modem card. A modem card, as you are seeing in the figure, allows a computer to send an analog carrier signal carrying digital information and decodes the reverse of this signal and return reproduce the original digital data. The most common way of doing this in the past was by using electrical signals transmitted over telephone lines. Although more modern systems such as satellite, Wi-Fi, mobile phones, and mobile broadband modems also use this type of communication. Wireless modems can be embedded inside of a device or be external to it and can be locked to only receive certain types of frequency signal. For example, only those from one particular network provider. Modern broadband modems are not limited to using telephone line, with newer type using satellite, television cable and the power line to transmit data signals. These are much more advanced than the older dial-up style of the modem with much faster transmission of data and a hugely expanded range of canals available for use simultaneously. Modems are usually classified by how much data they are able to transfer in a set amount of time, generally bits per second or bytes per second, and this data can be used to compare modems when buying or choosing between them. It's also important to say, students, when you want to buy a modem card, please pay attention to the speed of them. Okay, let's go ahead. The next one is wireless cellular card. A wireless card, as you are seeing in the figure, is used to provide a computer with the capability of connection to a radio-based computer network rather than one which is connected using wires. This can come pre-installed inside of a computer or laptop or be external. Come separately, although almost all modern devices come with this already included inside of the computer. The most common use of this card is to allow a devices to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Using a wireless router or access point, the Wi-Fi point receives data through wires and transmit it using radio waves. For a wireless card inside of devices to pick up and decode as well as receiving the signals in the opposition direction. The signals transmitted are on a different frequency to other radio waves transmissions, such as those used by the radio and the mobile phones, and are able to handle much more data than these other types. Wireless cards can also move around onto different frequency canals if one became too full with users, helping to make sure the transmission of data is always fast and efficient. Wireless card can come in the several different types, including PCI, mini PCI, and PCIe, different ones, of which are more suitable for the different devices. Some USB devices also exist which are capable of acting as a wireless card and allowing a devices to connect to the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth networks. Okay, students, let's go ahead. Here is the next one, and this is important. This card is very important. A television tuner card, as you are seeing in the figure, is a card which is inserted into a computer to allow a devices to receive a television signal that would not otherwise be suited to the picking them up. Cards are usually either PCI, mini PCI, or the PCIe, or the sometimes as an external USB devices. Most cards have an inbuilt processor to free up space from the system's CPU and ease the pressure on the computer. Cards can be either analog or the digital depending on which type of television the user wishes to view. And many hybrid tuners exist which are able to switching between the two types. High-end tuner cards often include special chips to encode and decode the data being transmitted. However, smaller and cheaper cards are less likely to have this capability due to the high power it takes to random many TV tuner cards. Also include a form of flash memory which allows them to store several different types of decoding software, and meaning that tuner card can be used in many different countries and with the different video formats without reformatting the system to recognize the new data. Okay, students, let's go ahead. Okay, this was our lesson today, and students, please pay attention for your homework. The first question of your homework is research about the type of USB, because USB or universal serial bus is very important because the computers nowadays use from that, and you must know them completely. And the next question of your homework is research about the firewall. Please research about firewall because firewall is also important to you and it's a security device. And the next one is how you can watch TV channels in your computer. If you be in the dormitory but there will not be any television, but if you want to see the television or the television channels on your computer, but how you can watch the TV channels in your computer. Okay, in the next lesson we will have a discuss about the computer buses. Thank you for your watching. Have a good time. Good luck.